And from the Workers Credit Union studios here at Fitchburg Access Television, hello, I'm Scott May. Welcome to North Central Journal. In this segment of the show, we're going to talk about Ginny's Helping Hand, right here in Leominster, nearby, serving the region. And with us is Brandon Robbins, the Executive Director of Ginny's. Brandon, nice having you here.
Thanks so much for having me today.
Tell us about a hand up, not a handout.
Yeah, so Ginny's Helping Hand was started in the late 70s by Ginny White, and that was kind of her slogan, a hand up, not a handout. And, you know, 3 executive directors later and almost 50 years later, that's still what we're doing exactly to this day, providing people a hand up right here in our region.
I was going to ask you the purpose of Ginny's. What is it that you help with? What do you provide? Yeah,
so if you look at our kind of our purpose, it's changed a little bit over the years. So when Ginny first started the organization in the late 70s, she noticed that people, specifically homeless people, really, you know, were having, you know, rough, tattered clothes and no winter coats in the winter. So that's what it started with, was really providing people with clothes, shoes, and other kind of necessities of life that they needed. And then it kind of changed a little bit from there. She started in the 80s a food pantry, and it was just a food pantry. She served 9 families a week, just right in Leominster. And then it moved to the building that it is still currently located in today at 52 Mechanic Street in Leominster. And that's when kind of both ideas came together. So to this day, we still have a thrift store, and we run our food pantry Tuesday through Saturday every single week.
Now, the thrift store began after the move to Mechanic Street.
Correct.
And tell me about the importance of the thrift store to Ginny's.
Yeah, the thrift store really plays an important role for us, but not just for us, the clients that we serve as well. So it's kind of, it's an interesting model in my opinion, and I think it's unique. So we take in donations from the community of lightly used clothing, shoes, linens, kind of like towels, blankets, pillows, that kind of stuff, that we are able to sell at really low prices to anybody in the community. It doesn't matter, you know, who you are, you know, what your income level is. You can come and shop at our thrift store. But in addition to that, it allows us to provide some assistance to our clients, kind of like Ginny did when she started. So oftentimes, if somebody is in a fire, they'll come see us after, and we're able to donate clothes to them, so that they can kind of, you know, at least have some clothes to get back started to where they want to be.
And that thrift store also does help support what Ginny's is doing.
Absolutely. So yeah, as I said, you know, anybody can come in and shop in our thrift store, and that income that we make goes right back into the food pantry and the services that we provide. Yeah, it really helps us keep our lights on and our doors open.
Sure.
You know, the role that we play in this community is large, as we'll talk about later. But I think that, you know, that little bit of income that helps us continue doing what we're doing. And, you know, I'm always trying to get more people to come in and see, you know, just what you can get. It's not just that shirt that somebody has had sitting in their drawer for a year that they've never worn, and it has dust all over it. A lot of the stuff that we have is brand new with tags on it. So people should definitely come in, check it out, because you never know what kind of deal you're going to get.
Now, Ginny White, who founded Ginny's, hence the name, retired in 2013. Sue Chalafu-Zephyr took over as executive director, and she retired in April of this year. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And and here's Brandon.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Yeah, so like you said, Sue retired in 2013. In April of this year, and,
right.
And I took over the organization, and I'm loving every second of it.
Now, you were already a part of Ginny's.
So at the time that she retired, no.
Okay.
But I had worked for the organization up until the end of 2020. At that time, I left for a year and a half and worked for State Representative Mike Kuchmarek, who represents Fitchburg.
Ah, yes.
So I worked for him as his legislative aide for a year and a half. And then Sue called me up and said, hey, I'm going to be retiring. And I would love you to consider taking over the organization and being its next executive director. And I had always loved the work that I did at Ginny's, and specifically in Leominster, born and raised there on the school committee there as well. So Leominster holds a special place in my heart. So when she called, as hard as it was for me to leave Representative Kuchmarek, it's the best move I've made.
What has been your greatest challenge between April and now as executive director?
That's a really good question. I think some of those things I'm still learning, and there are definitely challenges that are still to come. But one of the biggest challenges that I've seen so far is, since the start of the COVID pandemic, the number of people that we're serving every single month has skyrocketed. At the beginning of the pandemic, we were serving about 1,000 individuals a month. During the pandemic, that rose to 1,500 individuals a month. That's a significant increase. Last month alone, we served 2,356 people. Our service has gone through the roof, and finding ways to make sure that, first of all, our staff is not getting burnt out, our volunteers are not getting burnt out, but also that we're able to meet the needs of the people that we're seeing is important to me.
Now, when you say service, we're talking about groceries and specifically to 2,300 families a month?
Yeah, that number that I'm talking about.
2,300 clients a month, if you will?
Correct.
Where do the groceries come from?
Yeah, so we're lucky to be a partner of the Worcester County Food Bank. For simpler terms, the Worcester County Food Bank is kind of like a distribution center. So we're able to go there. We go once a week and pick up a variety of foods from them. Canned food, fresh produce, frozen meats. But in addition to that as well, they've set us up with some partnerships with the Hannafords in Leominster, Target and BJ's that we're able to pick up every day from as well. So that allows us to have, cold cuts, meats that they're not able to sell anymore, produce as well, that helps us meet those needs.
Who do you serve? I mean, what part of Massachusetts are you involved with?
Yeah, so like you said, we're based in Leominster, so most of our focus area is on North Central Mass. Our largest portion of clients are coming from Leominster, Fitchburg, and Gardner. We do obviously reach out to the smaller towns that are kind of in that North Central Mass area, and like I was saying earlier, we never really turn anybody away, because it takes a lot of pride out of a person to come and ask for help. Mm-hmm. The last thing I want to do is turn somebody away and say, no, we don't help your city here. So we make sure we give people food, but also connect them with resources that are closer to them.
How does someone become involved in that program?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really simple. All you have to do is come in when we're open. Our food pantry is open the exact same hours our thrift store are open. Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 4. Come on in. We'll get you signed up.
Let's talk about the staff and volunteers. I mean, Ginny's doesn't operate without that kind of help. So let's share a little bit of the importance of your staff and volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely. We could not do what we do without the staff and volunteers that we have. We have a great group of about 5 to 10 core volunteers who come in every single week, same days of the week, same hours of the week. Some people that we have been doing that since Ginny was with the organization. So they're really committed to the mission and the work that we do. We also have a really small staff. It's about 5 people, including myself, that really make the engine churn, basically. Without the staff and the volunteers, we could never do what we do.
Another part of the efforts of Ginny's this time of year are holiday food baskets. So give us a little bit of information on that and how people can become involved with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So every year around the Christmas and Thanksgiving holiday, the Saturday before, we have before each holiday, we have a basket distribution. So what we do is we've changed it up a little bit than how we've done it in the past. We used to create the whole basket and then give out the completed basket. We've kind of designed it as a do-it-yourself thing now. So we get all of the supplies ready. This picture is actually in our driveway right beside the building where we set it up, assuming the weather is still nice.
Yeah.
little stations, people go around and take the items that they want, don't have to take stuff if they're not going to use it, and then they go home with everything that they need for a holiday meal. Most of the time that includes turkey, stuffing, rolls, butter, fresh produce, potatoes, carrots, onions, all of that good stuff that you and I are having on Thanksgiving, our clients get to have as well. And last year we gave out over 400 of them. I'm expecting us to be over 500 this year.
Wow. And that's the Saturday before each holiday?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Post office, Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive, and other such drives that are available in the area. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, food drives play a really critical role for us. Like I said, I mentioned, the food bank, our local grocery store partners help us get a lot of food, but especially this time of year, November, December, a lot of people are thinking about ways that they can help. And one of the ways that they can do that is running food drives. The post office does one kind of off season. It's kind of mid-year where people can put out plastic bags right with their mail, and people, the postmen and volunteers from Ginny's go around and pick them up. You can see a full trunk full of them right there. It's a huge day for us. It was close to 4,000 pounds of food, I think, that came right from that food drive all across Leominster. But this time of year as well, they play a huge role in making sure that our shelves are stocked so we can get the food out to people in our community who really need it most.
You've touched upon it a couple of times, but let's specifically talk about hours of operation. Yeah,
so Tuesday through Saturday, we're open every single week. Tuesday through Friday, we're open 10 to 5, and Saturday it's 9 to 4.
And what about more information? People, if they see this show, where can they go to get more information or contact you? Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple ways that we can do that. Our website, jinnyshelpinghand.org, has all of the information that you need about our food pantry, our thrift store, how to volunteer, how to donate, all of that stuff. You can give us a call, 978-537-1387, our phone number, or check us out on Facebook as well. We try to keep, kind of daily updates going out on our Facebook page with things about our program, our thrift store. Check that out as well. Repeat that number. 978-537-1387. Brandon, thank you very much for everything you're doing, for being with us here on North Central Journal, and happy holidays. You too. Thanks for having me again. And welcome back to North Central Journal. In this segment of the show, we're going to be talking with Colby O'Brien, who has a brand new identity, sort of a brand new title with Making Opportunity Count, or MOC. That new title, Colby, is Senior Director of Programs and Integration. Congratulations. Thank you. I appreciate it, Scott. I appreciate it. What is the mission of MOC? So our main mission is to alleviate poverty. And this was born out of the Johnson era with the war on poverty. At that time, back in the 60s, we really didn't know all the things that impacted someone that was in poverty. And today we know the social determinants of health, racial inequity, gender inequity. At that time, they didn't really know. And so President Johnson, his war on poverty really launched our mission and launched our agency forward. One of our first programs was childcare, and that is still a program at Head Start that we carry on today. And we support over 700 kids, in the region to receive childcare and Head Start programming at 7 different locations. And so that was one of our initial programs, and we still do that today, and it just really mimics how committed we are to continuing these programs throughout the years as needs change and people change as well. Now, MOC was established 56 years ago, and I go back that far, and I remember it as the Montechusett Opportunity Council, but it's been rebranded as Making Opportunity Count. Tell us about that decision. Yeah, that was really twofold. And so first it was Montechusett, getting rid of that name. Really, it was geographically, we wanted to open it up to the 30 cities and towns that we do support in the region in North Central. And the other was, focus on, we are growing as an agency. We're adding programs, we're changing programs, we're supporting people in different ways. And we wanted to showcase that through identity change and showing that we're here to meet the needs of today and tomorrow, and part of that was the branding. Now, we've got a lot to talk about in a relatively short period of time, so let's get right to it and talk about the services provided in 2022 and begin with family services.
So we have a whole range of family services, everything from WIC, which is Women's, Infants, and Children, to Child Care Head Start. We have a Family Resource Center. We provide services for families that are in recovery. We provide some employment and housing services. I mean, we have over a dozen, almost 2 dozen programs, and it's really hard to pinpoint what we do. But our main goal is we meet the client where their needs are, and we figure out what their goals are and how we can move them forward. And always it's a wraparound piece. And so you might come in looking for one service, but we're blessed to have another dozen programs that somebody might need supports with, and we don't stop there, and we refer within. And part of my job is to help programs talk to each other so they can understand that this client might have 3 or 4 needs that we can meet with, maybe our economic empowerment program, or maybe they need the counseling center. How do we refer internally to better help the client? And that's really the wraparound services we provide.
Now, emergency services are
Yes.
very important. Let's talk specifically about what those services are.
And so our emergency services, we gave away over $300,000 during COVID to support people that were facing eviction, that were facing loss of work due to the pandemic. And so we're really happy to be able to support the community directly with those emergency services. A lot of that came through ARPA. As many know, that ARPA money will not be around much longer. And
Right.
so, what do we do long term for clients that need emergency money? We really provide a lot of services that help them, either through our Financial Empowerment Center, through HOPWA, through housing, and really figuring out ways that they need supports from us and fitting them into the programs that we offer. A client may call us with an emergency, and we might be able to provide that need immediate or refer them out to another organization that can help meet that need.
Now, we're on the threshold of the winter here, and that can be a very difficult time of year for people who can afford to get through it. But there are a lot of folks who can't.
Yep.
Tell us about your heating assistance services.
So starting October 1st, we obtained the LIHEAP contract for the region for the 30 cities and towns, which LIHEAP is the general term, fuel assistance, a lot of people know it by.
Sure.
And so November 1st will be the launch of new applicants being able to receive services and be able to apply and get fuel assistance. But for those who are this winter struggling, it's going to be a really difficult winter with the cost of energy, and our fuel assistance program is ready. We have a dedicated team of over a dozen people that are answering phones, emails, processing applications. We're embedded at various locations across North Central to do in-person appointments, which was, during the pandemic, they were behind closed doors. It was really difficult to get people that didn't have access to a computer. They felt more comfortable filling out an application by hand. And so, we can have clients stop in at 601 River Street in Fitchburg to start an application, make an appointment. Our fuel assistance line is on our website, and all the information needed for clients to begin the application process, which is tedious, and there's a lot of information that goes into it, especially for the entire household. And we're eager and willing to help our clients, check all those boxes to receive assistance this winter.
Now, when folks watch this, the fuel assistance application process will be underway, and how long does that extend to?
It goes to March, and so
Okay.
if a client was approved in January, they would get prorated back for the season for
Okay.
the set amount of money that they were allotted. We're mailing out applications, receiving applications. This is really a 6-month process. We're talking thousands. I think they did 5,600 people last year, and so I would, I'm going to make an assumption it's going to be a higher need this year. And with the way money, people qualify, the amount of money that has been raised up a little bit throughout the year. So clients might receive a bit more money at the end of winter than they would at the beginning due to cost of energy as well.
So, as you say, a 6-month process, and it's retroactive if approved.
Yep.
Anytime during that 6 months.
Yep. So if you are approved, let's say you're approved in January, we'd backdate, from October 1st. And
Okay.
so, clients will be able to receive those funds, just not right away.
Yep. You also offer outpatient mental health counseling.
Yes.
And tell us about that service and where that location or that clinic is located.
So Outpatient mental health clinic is located at 49 Nursery Lane in Fitchburg, right behind Dairy Queen, Suite 201. So it's
okay,
upstairs. That's like the landmark is Dairy Queen. Everybody knows where Dairy Queen is. We're right behind it, and that's where a lot of our programs are out of 49 Nursery Lane. And so this program was born out of our community needs assessment, which we do every 3 years. We're currently doing our current round for 3 years right now. And so we asked the community, hey, what are some needs that we could support you with? What would help you? And mental health was one of the highest ranked needs. And so we respond to that need. We opened up a patient mental health clinic last year right in the summer. So we've basically taken on wait lists from other organizations, new clients, and really we have a team of about a dozen clinicians, and we could use a dozen more. It is one of those needs that really was brought up during the pandemic, and the destigmatization of that need is really coming around, and people are really starting to realize that mental health is a social determinant of health, and how can we help someone's mental health? We help their need, and we might help alleviate some of their other needs by providing them this service. So we're really excited to have it. It's very new still, and we're constantly growing and expanding those programs. But it's something that you can call us and we can support you with as well.
Now you hit both ends of the spectrum with your youth services and your elder support services. So let's touch on both of those areas.
I'll start with the elders. And
okay,
so
thank you.
we run the Meals on Wheels program for North Central as well. And so we do conjugate meals at the councils on aging, which are across the different cities and towns. And we also do door-to-door delivery for Meals on Wheels as well for clients. And so someone that would qualify can call up. We would get you approved. You can be billed either through your insurance company or private pay or whatever means you feel is more appropriate. And you can either come to the senior center and receive a meal at your local senior center, or we'll deliver you a meal to your door as well. And we provide meals for all 7 days a week. Our youth services are, we're going to jump 60 years now. Youth services, we have a youth program that has a few different elements. And so one of them is our adolescent sexual education program, which is embedded in our schools. And so we have youth leaders that go in and actually teach these classes to their peers, which is great because it comes from a peer and not from an adult, which totally changes the perspective of it. And then we also have a youth innovation center that we are building right now in Fitchburg in the Clegon neighborhood. And so that will be another center for service delivery, the Adrian Ford Center for Change, which hopefully doors will be opening quite soon, which we're super excited for. But that will deliver our youth services right out of that location as well, which will allow youth in the city and the region to participate in activities that allow them to grow and really fit what they want to do. There won't be adults in the room telling these kids what they can do. We'll let them organically grow and figure out what they want to be in life and how we can help them get there.
Now describe your health and wellness services.
So
well, you do a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of getting exhausted here. I think I might need 5 minutes. Gee, I feel like I'm getting a growth for all of your services. No. So health and wellness is a growing piece for MOC, and we'll have some exciting news hopefully in the next few months on what that looks like. But currently we hold some contracts to support people that are living with AIDS and HIV, and so we provide case management for those folks, and then we also support those who are living with addiction and recovery, which again meets the model of healthcare. And I'll be super excited to come back on the show in a few months and introduce our new program that will be launching soon. But that's another thing where we respond to the needs of the community and we develop programs and supports to rise to the occasion and deliver those services. And so, that's a growing edge for us, and we're really excited to be able to expand those services for our clients, because it meets the social determinants of health. Yeah. And how can we keep addressing those in as many ways as we can, because the whole person is what matters through a holistic approach to delivering services.
I want to circle back because we're running out of time, and it's that time of year where this is really important, and that is the fuel assistance applications. How do folks do that? Where do they go to do that?
So you can start online. You can visit our website, www.mocinc.org. There's a banner right up front, brings you the fuel assistance. On the page, you'll be able to see basically the various links and places where you could go to start your application. You could start your application online, which is preferred because it gets you in the system and also allows you to schedule an appointment if you're a new client at, we have locations in Athol, Shirley, Leominster, Clinton, up north as well. We cover a lot of different, in Winchendon and Gardner. And so we cover a lot of geographic areas, so it's super important for us to be at these locations at least once or twice throughout the month. And we can schedule your appointments to do those in person, or you can submit all your applications and paperwork online. You could call the fuel assistance number, and it will actually tell you if you've been approved, denied, if you're awaiting paperwork, and what paperwork you need throughout the process. And so it's available in many different languages as well for our clients that speak Spanish, English, Portuguese. We try to meet the needs of the client in terms of what they prefer to speak. And clients can get on there, apply. We are, it is a very busy program, so I would encourage patience from our clients, just so they can keep on. There's thousands and hundreds of calls throughout the month that go on, interactions, and we try to always be compassionate. That's the first thing we do. We know those clients are going through a really hard time when they're calling us for fuel assistance, and it's our goal to get them, fuel assistance, but also recommend other programs and services we have at MOC. And so that's why I'm super excited to go on the show, because we do so much more, and it's really hard to wrap all these things into one show. But and that's what we're here for. You call us, we'll do something, we'll figure out a way to support you.
Colby O'Brien, the Senior Director of Programs and Integration at MOC, making opportunity count. Colby, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you, me too.